just because it's a kind of funny, cool, true story doesn't mean you should make a movie out of it. What up, my Nimians, and welcome back to NimTV. I'm your host, ImageNeb2299, and we're back with another movie review. This time we're reviewing the movie Tag. Now, Tag is a comedy about these group of guys who have been playing the same game of tag for the entire month of something, I can't remember which month it is, every year for the past 30 years. Since they were kids, they kept the same game of tag the whole time. And this is the year that's supposed to be the one guy's last year, and he's never been tagged, and so everybody wants to try to tag him. And there you go, that's the movie. It is based on a true story. There was a real group of people who had been playing the same game of tag for many, many years, and it's sort of this thing that sort of brought them close together. It's given them a reason to continue being friends over the years. And that's sort of what this movie is trying to convey, is that these are a group of people who are really close friends because of this game of tag. But it doesn't convey that as well as it thinks it does. So, watching this movie, you know, I saw the trailers, I was like, yeah, it looks like it might be kind of funny and everything. And I actually watched it, and I was like, the whole time, I was bored out of my mind. There was no jokes in it that really made me laugh. I honestly don't think I laughed at all in this movie. I was just watching it, waiting for it to be over. Most of the movie is just one sequence after another of the group trying to tag Jerry. Jerry's the one who hasn't been tagged in many years. It's like one scene of them having a plan where they're going to try to tag him and failing. Another scene of them trying to tag him and failing. Another scene of them like, there's at least 5 just separate sections of them doing that, and then, you know, little things in between each section, and it just sort of gets old and repetitive really quickly. At the beginning, you're like, oh, this is kind of fun, whatever, but then you're like, after a while, you're like, make it stop. It's the same thing over and over again. There's no sense of any real plot progression. It just feels like the movie just gets into one spot and sort of stays in that same spot for the rest of the movie, and you're like, I just want it to be over. It's the same scene over and over again, basically just in different locations and maybe slightly different things. I was bored of this movie a lot, and I think the one thing that would have made it better, that would have sort of elevated the movie, and I think this is the one thing they were trying for, the one thing that realistically would have been, you know, the thing that you would try for. In this type of movie, this is the thing that you really need, is chemistry. Chemistry between characters. You want the characters to feel like they're really good best friends forever, like they've known each other for many years. You want to feel that chemistry. And the actors just don't really bring that chemistry on. Like, they don't have bad chemistry necessarily, but not really good either. Like, you don't feel the sense that they've been friends for years and they're like these best friends and they know each other really well. You don't really feel that. It just feels like a group of guys who know each other but not really well, like you're supposed to feel, and it's just, there you go. So I think if this movie had better chemistry and maybe better writing, you know, good comedy obviously needs good writing, so the jokes are actually funny, obviously. If it had better chemistry between characters and better writing, it could have been really good. And the whole, you know, repeating the same thing over and over again basically would have been more bearable and maybe even entertaining. But the thing is, this whole movie, I'm just not laughing at any of the jokes. I'm not charmed by the chemistry between the characters. I don't feel that sense of these guys are good friends, because if you did, then you'd get a lot more emotional in certain parts. They were supposed to be more emotional. You would really feel the emotion, and you don't, because they don't have that chemistry that you need in a movie like this. So ultimately, this movie's basically just a waste of time to go see it. Like, I'm definitely not gonna ever see it again. It was boring, a waste of my time. When I was done, I was like, I wish I had gone to either see another movie or had just stayed home, because I could have done something more productive than watch this. Yeah, so is this the worst movie I've seen so far this year? That's debatable. I think it's definitely down there on the list. I didn't find anything in this movie that I found appealing. There was nothing that was necessarily horrible, that was like, oh wow, this is a terrible movie, but there was nothing redeeming about it that made it an enjoyable experience either. There was nothing enjoyable about it either. So, ultimately, this one's a pretty bland one, and that's all I have to say about it. Not very good comedy. There you go. That's all I have to say about it. Let me know in the comments what you think of this movie if you did see it, and if you haven't seen it yet, don't bother. Just don't even waste your money. It's not worth it. It's boring, not funny. Just don't see it. But anyways, yeah, again, if you have seen it though, let me know in the comments what you think of it. Did you actually find it funny? Because I didn't. Anyways, yeah, that's about all. So, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.
The gents and ladies, I spoil loyal fans. I foil your plans and leave fluids leaking like oil pans. My coiled hands around this microphone are lethal. One thought in my cerebral is deeper than a jeep full of people. MCs are feeble. I came to cause some pandemonium. Battle a band of phony MCs, a stand-alone one. Imitator, intimidator, stimulator, simulator of data, eliminator. There's never been a greater. Since the burial of Jesus,